Hi, I'm Gary. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm looking inside the box of the starter set of the Messerschmitt Bf-109F in 1/72 scale from Airfix. Now, if you like the show, please do remember the imperial thumbs up on the like button below, hit the notifications bell and subscribe to the channel. It's free and a great way to show your support. Let's get on with a look at this kit. So here's the box of the Messerschmitt Bf-109 F4 starter set from Airfix. Nice piece of box artwork from Adam Tooby on the front. Down the side, they've actually stopped using this side stripe here for the mainstream kits. The main kits just have the red layer. I guess this comes on there so that you can show it's got the shadow stand in particular. 1/72 scale, as it says here, and the product code is A55014. Up here, on this long side, we have a brief history of the Bf-109 and a side view of the scheme that's included in here. It says here the kit will be 126 millimeters long and 138 millimeters in span when complete, and there are 30 pieces included. Over here we have a token for 1 flying hour. Now these are great if you're in the Airfix club. You can collect flying hours and get a free kit in the future. Or if you're not in the club, or indeed if you are in the club and don't care about flying hours, please consider sending these to Models for Heroes, who can turn them into kits for veterans and members of the Blue Light Responder services who are dealing with mental health issues as a result of their service to our country. It's a fantastic charity. Details of it are in the information box below. And finally here we have a thing pointing out it's a skill level 1 kit. It should be. This is the simplest and most straightforward of the range of kits that Airfix does. It should be absolutely achievable by anyone. On the back side here is the scheme layout. You can see it comes with 4 colours, 31, which is dark grey, very dark grey, 33, which is black, 65, which is this light blue underside, and 91, which is this very dark green. It's got black green. For the rest of the aircraft, all the other colours, like the yellows here and here and here, those are all done by decals that you put on later on. The other things are other little decals like kill markings, national markings, and so on and so forth. Okay, let's have a look and see what we get inside the box for our money. The starter sets are all side opening, which is great if you have something with which to open the side. There we go. Press scissors. There we go. The side opening because they're designed to sit on a hanger. And we don't want the front to fall off, basically. There we go, that's all of the contents. And what we have here are instructions and decal sheet here. We have some general tips about what you may need to use in terms of tools and some basic techniques of how to build things. These are really very useful, actually, if you've not made a plastic kit before. There's a bag of parts here. And inside there, in a separate bag, is the canopy. That's there to keep it protected so it doesn't get scratched. You also get a Humble No. 2 brush. These are really nice brushes. I use these a lot. Always keep hold of those. And then another bag with a tube of polystyrene cement and the 4 paints in little pots. This is frame A. It contains the fuselage halves, the cockpit complete with its seat, the pilot figure, the exhausts that go through these slots in the side here, the propeller boss, and things like that. Frame B, very simply, bottom and top of the wings, and this is the vertical part of the shadow stand if you're going to be using that. Then frame C has the base of the shadow stand, tailplanes for the aircraft, undercarriage, this is the carburetor area, oil cooler, radiators. Then in a small separate bag is the single canopy piece in clear plastic. We have a look at the plastic itself. It's the modern dark grey kind of plastic, got a very slightly brownish tint to it. The mouldings are nice. I mean, they're not really overcomplicated because this is a starter set, but there are some panel lines and things like that there that, you know, if you were of a mind, you could probably pick these out if you're a more advanced modeler, basically, or if you know what you're doing, if you're prepared to find out how to do things like panel line washes and whatever. But we can have a look at that in the video. The cockpit's basic, to say there's no control column for a start, but you know, that doesn't matter really. Pilot figure is here. Looks a little soft and blurred, but you know, it's okay. I'm sure we can do something with it. We'll see. The inside of the cockpit parts, and so they've got these very fine mouldings. I think it would have been so much nicer if these were slightly more raised up, so you could actually pick them out. These are going to be really difficult to pick out because, from what I remember, I can't remember if the interior was RLM02, which is a paler, sort of slightly greenish grey, or whether they'd gone to the darker grey. If this is dark grey, you don't have a hope of picking those out, even with really, really clever dry brushing. So it would have been nice for them to have picked out that detail a bit more. And likewise on the other side. I mean, you don't need to intimidate people, obviously, but I don't think you would intimidate them with a bit more detail, a bit more pronounced detail, let's say. And you could still fit the figure in. So, yeah, wish they'd have done a bit more with that, to be honest. The wing surface is the same as the fuselage, really. You know, you can see there's some panel lines you can pick out and some like filler caps and whatever you can pick out, maybe. The ailerons look like they're fabric covered, which is nice. The one thing you'll notice is that these leading edge slats here are fixed. They were spring loaded on the 109, so if it were on the ground, they would be poking forward. I know it's a matter of parts count, it's a matter of trying to keep it as simple as possible, but like the purist of the Bf109 is going to think, that's not for me, that's going to put them off. And they'll get another make of kit that does have slats. But that's it's not who these kits are aimed at, let's be honest. The decal sheet, such as it is quite basic. You can see there's one petrol filler cap, probably the 87 octane triangle. There's a little bit of detail of something there and little something there. There is a little red cross on that national marking there, so it's like sits on top of a first aid panel. So it's a nice level of detail to have done that. This is the fuselage band, and it's quite nice here. They say this is the centre line of the top of the fuselage, and this wraps around it that way, and that's the direction of flight. The front end is up here, the tail end is there. That's the way you wrap it round. These are for the undersides of the wings, as I mentioned earlier. Nice little cutouts here for where the wingtip lights go, although of course there's no clear part, but they are marked out on the plastic, so you can, if you're of a mind, get some silver paint and paint them in, or even some chrome. But the colours look good. That to my eyes and in this light looks a decent Luftwaffe yellow. It had a really nice sort of rich golden yellow colour they used a lot, and that pretty much looks like it to me. Anyway, let's have a quick look at a bit more detail close up and see what they're actually like. Okay, here we are in real close up. This is a 0.5 millimeter pencil lead in the propelling pencil here. The lettering here is very small. Remember, the principal scheme here is in quite dark green, so I really don't see that that's going to be seen at all. The little octane marking there for the fuel looks okay. I don't know if to your eyes the black is very slightly offset. I'm not sure it is, but I don't know. This little, I guess, boar's head or wolf's head or something on there is all very nice. If we move that up here, you can see there's the little red cross symbol which goes over a first aid kit. So there's a hatch for a first aid kit that this cross sits on. The works number of the aircraft is here. Again, are you going to see that? Probably not. The kill markings here will show up because they're white and they're going to go onto dark green. And here you can see, as I mentioned before, so there you can see the markings that have been put in for the alignment of that band across the middle. So you've got a center fuselage centerline mark, and then it points out that the direction of flight is ahead, so the nose is to the top. That makes sure you put it on the right way round. The kit comes with 4 paints. The first one here, Humboldt 31. This approximates to RLM02 grey. There's Humboldt 33, which is black. There's Humboldt 65, which is roughly the RLM 65 light blue. And then finally there's Humboldt 91, which is close to RLM 70 black green or Schwarzgrün. There's also a number 2 paintbrush and a tube of polystyrene cement. I really do not like these tubes. I think the nozzles on them are far too wide to be able to have any sorts of control. There's tricks you can use. Maybe put a little puddle of this on, tear off a bit at the end of the box, put a puddle of the glue on it, and then use something like a toothpick to spread the glue onto the part. Don't try most of the time using it. There's just too much glue will come out. Really wish they'd change those, but I'm pretty sure they've got millions of these still in their warehouse. Anyway, those are the extra bits that come with this particular starter set. The instructions are very much as you'd expect for a starter set kit from Airfix these days. Again, 1/72 starter set Messerschmitt Bf-109 F4. That's the headline. The product code A55014 again. Wingspan 138mm, length 126 when it's complete. A brief history of the 109 here, 109F in particular, here with some basic specifications. These are repeated in French and inside here in German, Spanish and Swedish as well. Normally they'd all be on the front page, but on the front page big warnings on here to say these are not suitable for children under the age of 8 years. Use adult supervision and read the instructions. These are huge warnings because they're starter sets. Interestingly, it does say here, before parts are removed from the frames, wash them in warm soapy water, rinse and dry thoroughly. Most people say you don't need to do that. I find occasionally you do. You may find if you try and put the paints directly onto the plastic as well, they really will struggle to grip. So I also suggest you use a primer. Now you can get spray primers ready inexpensively. Use an acrylic spray primer over the parts once you put it all together before you put the window on as well. Don't accidentally spray over the window. But we'll have a look at how we'll do all of that later on. Inside there's also some basic assembly instructions. There's a map of where all the frames are with the part numbers and the decals. There's the thing here, there are going to be lots of these little knobbly things on some of the parts. They are kind of like overfill gaps, so the part completely fills properly, and you just need to cut those off before you put things together. Just do check with what the parts actually look like on the instructions to make sure you haven't left any of those bits on. So in here, it's again quite straightforward. They do give you a translation of all the various instructions thing. Anywhere where they're suggesting you do use glue is shown in yellow instantly. You can put if you're having the fuselage, undercarriage up, then you put the wheel in quite flat there and it tucks up. If the wheels are down, then you put it into a different slot and the wheels are held downwards, which is a nice touch. What I do like in these instructions, of course, is it actually does highlight where all these parts are on the frame for you. It makes it really easy to get things done. And then you put the fuselage together, again, showing plenty of glue. Just be careful how you use the glue. I don't like this glue that they supply very much so. Just be really careful with how you use it. And yeah, just stage by stage, bit by bit, what needs to go together. Obviously, you make a choice between undercarriage up or undercarriage down here, and there's different parts for each. And then there's the window frame, which, as you'll find, actually just clicks into place. It's a really lovely design. And then paint it and build the stand if you want to. And that's with a few more bits of warnings and advice are the main instructions. Also included with the instructions is a general hints and tips and tricks sheet. They do suggest some extra bits and pieces you might want to grab hold of before you start building it. So a nail file, because you do need to occasionally sand down little bits, tweezers, scissors, some clippers to take the parts off the frame, a drill. I don't think you need a drill in this one, but sometimes you have options like bomb racks or fuel tanks or something like that, and you do need to drill out a little hole. Tape to tape the thing up whilst it's drying, and pegs to hold bits and pieces together. And then their advice: wash all the parts in water and rinse and dry thoroughly. There we go, fine file to clean up rough edges from where you've taken things off the frame. Very important tip is to test fit parts before you glue anything together. Test fit them. It's called dry fitting. You can identify if there's any bits that need a little bit of extra sanding down, or if you've got one of those little nubs we spoke about. If that's in the way, don't will stop it fitting. Think, that's what's causing the problem. Don't use too much glue. Really important. Don't use too much glue. And with polystyrene cement, give it plenty of time to dry thoroughly. Paints need to be stirred very, very well. Small parts you can paint whilst they're still on the frame. Allow plenty of time, at least 2 hours between coats as well. And that's how you fit the decals. But we'll have a look at all of that later on. But it's a really handy little sheet if you've never made a kit before in your life. There it is, surprisingly good, I think, and I'm sure we'll make a nice little kit, and with a few tweaks you wouldn't know it was a starter set. Now remember, if you've enjoyed the show, please do give it the imperial thumbs up on the like button below, hit the notifications bell and subscribe to the channel. It's free and a great way to show your support. Thanks very much for watching today. Goodbye.